Well, hello everybody, this is Connell. It's winter up here in central New York. I'm in our four-season room, looking out toward the back of the house. You can see it's winter out here. There is no metal detecting up here. So when we get a chance, my wife and I, we take off and go down in the Caribbean. Just lately we were in Aruba. You can see I got 4 videos up. And I've had requests from people saying, how do you pack to fly and get there? So I'm putting together this video to show you how I pack and my advice. Okay, so we decided we're going to travel by air. There's 2 things that we're going to have to get down there with us. First of all, the machine. I'll get into that next. But we're also going to have to get our scoop down there. This is a scoop that I really love. It's an Extreme. It's really the X2 scoop. Extreme, made by John Volk down in Houston, Texas. And John's a metal detector himself. So he knows what he wants and he builds one heck of a machine. Now, or one heck of a scoop, excuse me. But we're talking about traveling here. First of all, you got to disassemble your scoop. You could send it this way. You could put a box around here, pad it up, put a tag on the handle and ship it just that way. But that's going to be at least your second bag, and if not, possibly your third. First bags generally cost about $25 to ship them, and we're all talking one way here, so it'd be $50 one round trip. So if this was your second bag, this would cost you $35 or $70 round trip. And of course then the metal detector. So let's say the metal detector, the third one, I think they jump pretty much up into the $60 or $70 range one way. Over $100. If you got to pay over $100 to get your scoop down there, probably it is not worth going. But if you are going to pack your scoop, I would highly recommend that you get one that you make sure you have a carbon fiber handle first, and I'll explain why in a minute. Now, to take your scoop, and in this Extreme, there's just a set screw here that you take loosen up the bolt. There's another set screw on the bottom that holds it down. You release that, and with a carbon fiber handle, just a little twist, off it comes. The handle you put into your canvas bag if you're going to fly with a canvas bag, or you put it into the hard case, which is the way I fly. The scoop head, like this right here, put into your luggage. If you put it in your luggage, you can fill it all up with socks and underwear and whatnot, so it doesn't take that much room. It does add about 3 or 4 pounds in weight, and that is about it. But now, why a carbon fiber handle? You can buy these scoops without carbon fiber handle. If your scoop has an aluminum handle, that's fine. You can disassemble it, and you can do it the same way. The carbon fiber handle, you can always disassemble. The wooden handles, an ash handle, they're less expensive. You can get away for less than $20 at Lowe's or Home Depot. But if you know, I'll tell you one thing if you don't know it already, and that is once you use it for a little while, the wood is going to swell and you're not going to get it apart. So even if you have a wooden handle on there, you fly it down there, you're going to have to saw it off to get it out, get your scoop head back. So my best advice to you is if you're going to travel, is to make sure your handle on your scoop is either an aluminum handle or a carbon fiber handle. Wooden handles can cause you all sorts of troubles. So now let's go on to packing up the machine. Okay, now I mentioned 2 ways to pack up your machine. The least expensive way is by putting your machine in a canvas bag. I know that Kelly Cole down in Winter Park, Florida, I'm going to have their name right here, put it up. They have a canvas travel bag for $39.95. Not bad at all. Problem with a canvas bag is there's not much protection there for your machine. Now, I travel with an Excalibur tool, but if whatever your machine on, if you have a screen on here, you're going to have to really protect the screen. And of course, you're always going to have to protect your control knobs and your control box. If you're going to travel with it, get some bubble wrap. Wrap up the control box, or wrap up the screen as much as you possibly can. Fold up your machine. Almost all the machines, you can adjust the length of the lower shaft for your height. Put it up as close as you possibly can, and generally most machines will come down to about 4 foot in length. In that case, I think you can get it all into that canvas bag. I do not send my machine down by canvas bag. I send it down by a hard case. And now let's go to the hard case. Okay, here is my hard case. This is a Pelican 1750 case. Pelican products. Here's the place where you can order one, now showing up on the screen. This case I've had now for I think 5 or 6 years, and I love it very much. Now you can see baggage handlers, they really handle stuff hard, so that's why I chose the Pelican case. I believe the 1750 is around $160. I'm not sure. Check with it. It has 4 latches. I'm not latching them now, but the 4 latches will latch it. One of the very first times I sent it by air, by the time I got to my destination city, 3 of the latches had released and was only being held by 1. So now what I do is that I latch it and then I tie wrap it. I put a tie wrap through. I tighten it up tight, and then I clip off the tag end. Now I'll tell you a reason why I clip off the tag end. I put one on each end of this particular case. Now, when I get to the destination city, you notice that I have this paper here, talking to the TSA. This goes inside this case after I got everything packed up. Now, if they open a case, and TSA will open the case 2 out of 3 times. I think the reason is they're very afraid of it, or maybe they just want to see what's in it. I mean, I tell them what's in it, a metal detector, but I really think sometimes they just want to see what kind of a metal detector I got. But they also ship match rifles and rifles with it. So they open it to check it. Now, I've put a tie wrap on here, and it has been clipped off. So when I get to my destination city, if they have used the ones that I have put in there, because sometimes they don't, or if they use their own, it's going to be different. And I'll guarantee you one thing, they will not clip off the tag end after it's tied down tight. So when this bag comes sliding down that baggage return at the destination airport, and you see that these zip ties have been removed and replaced, do not open the case. Take it right into the agent, which will be down there for baggage agent for the airline. Tell them that it has been opened, and I want to check it to make sure that everything's in there. And then in front of the baggage area agent, you cut the tags or the tie wraps, which are here, and open it up. And if you find it like this, you have got problems. but something could become lost all the time. So anyway, let's get now to the Pelican case. When you purchase it, there are 3 layers of foam. There's an upper layer here, 2-inch foam. There's a middle layer, which is 2-inch foam, and there's the bottom layer, which is also 2-inch foam. What you do when you get your Pelican case is you take your machine, you lay it out on the middle foam here, and you start drawing chalk lines around everything, and you get plenty of time to place everything you need. Now, because I do a lot of traveling with this, I've also cut some stuff in the bottom. Let me get this out of here so you can see it a little bit better. Because I put some less valuable stuff down here. This is where, because the headphones are a lot thicker than 2 inches, so I cut them into the bottom. My GoPro goes here. This is where the handle for my scoop goes. Right here is a place that I cut out for my chesty for my GoPro. Battery chargers. Battery charger goes here. This is another battery charge. I carry a hammer, because even with a carbon fiber, at times I've got to tap it out a little bit. So I do that, and then of course this up here, this middle foam, is where your best stuff goes. I take off the bottom shaft, slides it off. I do not connect the wires, disconnect the wires, but I take the bottom shaft off, and that lays in here. This is where the straight shaft goes for my Excalibur. The control unit goes up here, the headphones go under there into here. What this is cut out is for the handle. Now, on the Anderson straight shaft handle that I have to disconnect it and swivel it around, because this is the cup that goes around your arm, slips down in there, and this has to be able to turn to come up. Here's where my pin pointer goes. I got that right here. I can show it in very easily. That's where the pin pointer goes, and everything goes in there and gets packed up. And then I throw my, that goes on top, and it gets locked up, and the tie wraps go on it. So that's pretty much it. But you're going to have to make some investment, $250 or so for the case. If you go hard case, about $40 for a canvas case. You got to put a carbon fiber handle on if you don't already have an aluminum handle on it. I've been using a wood one, and that could cost you about another $130. So it's going to cost you at most somewhere in the neighborhood of $400 to get your equipment ready to fly. And of course, then you got to consider that you've got an extra case or bag that's going to fly with you also. So the second bag or second case in airlines are costing you about $35 now one way, or $70 round trip. So it's not cheap if you want to take your metal detector with you, but it can be done. Now, before you start doing this, there's one final word of caution. Wherever you're going, call ahead of time. Make sure that they will allow metal detectors on the beach. Yes, in New York State, or excuse me, in the United States, the vast majority of the beaches are declared public, and you can use a metal detector with no problem. There are some places in the states where the state parks or the national parks are, that you cannot use metal detectors, but we won't talk about that. But when you start flying into the Caribbean, Magens Bay and at St. Thomas, you cannot use a metal detector. A lot of these hotels down there, these resorts, will not allow you to use a metal detector. And of course, when you're flying into the Caribbean islands, a lot of them are British owned, they're French owned, they're Spanish, or whatever they are. You got to be sure that the metal detector is allowed on the beach. So That's one of the best things I can tell you, and I know it's at the end of this video, but before you decide to fly, make sure that where you're going, you can use your metal detector. So that's it. Kind of waiting for this snow to melt. I guess we got another couple months, but until then, if you can go hunting, go enjoy yourself. And by the way, please like and subscribe to this video if you would, please. Thank you very much.